and welcome to World War G. I'm Troy.
Troy is literally one of a kind. He's a goblin or a hobbit or a kobold, which is a type of gremlin.
I'm AJ.
AJ? What kind of name is AJ? Oh, you race cars?
Still basking in that post-FanX glow.
Oh, yeah. It's like cuddle time.
It is. It is. You're spent, you're tired, and now it's just pillow talk.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shall we have some of that pillow talk? But, like, typically, you know, I mean, or perhaps you might want a snack before.
Or after.
Yeah.
Or during. Hey, you know, whatever.
There you go.
Speaking of that, let's get to how does it taste?
How does that taste? How does that taste? How does it taste?
So, through the whole con, basically, through all of FanX, we were looking for taste tests to do.
Yes, yeah.
We wanted to find something kind of unique, kind of interesting.
That you can only find at the con.
Yes. And we found... I know you took a picture of them yesterday, but...
yeah, I'll throw them up on there, but yeah. We were able to find from a company, the Truffle Cottage.
Yes.
What they do is they make unique chocolate candies for different fandoms, whether it's Star Wars, whether like Harry Potter, you know.
Right.
They had a ton of different ones to choose from. And we've actually, if you go back and watch, a couple of years ago, we did an interview with them and talked about all of their chocolates.
That's right, we did.
Yeah, on our YouTube channel. But we came back, and it was kind of funny because there was quite a hunt to actually find them. We were like, they weren't located on the map, so we're like looking around. We're like, I remember seeing it kind of in this general area. We basically played like Marco Polo.
Right.
Yeah.
So we did end up finding them. And again, that's the trufflecottage.com if you want to go check it out. So these first ones we're going to try are these chocolate Batman symbols. Now, the flavor of this is Bordeaux. So it has white chocolate. It has cream, espresso powder, milk chocolate. Yeah.
That's what I think of when I think of Batman.
Yeah.
I do. Okay, so it does have the symbol.
Yes.
On the front, and then it's like, I don't even know how they would do that. It looks like silver.
Yeah, it's probably some sort of
edible paint.
Edible paint, yeah. So,
there we go.
Dive right in. It's pretty high quality chocolate.
Oh, it is. Yeah, definitely.
I'm not a big fan of chocolate with this stuff on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. It's just my preference. But it's pretty good, though.
It is, yeah. Very rich.
Very rich.
Yeah.
I'll probably just stop at that one bite. I'm pretty much just tasting chocolate. I don't know about you. Like, I'm not tasting any...
Of the Bordeaux actually stuff. I kind of am.
Oh, yeah?
It reminds me a little bit of a Milky Way. I know that.
I guess that makes sense.
More or less.
Because I think that is some sort of caramel in there.
Right.
That would make sense then. Now, this one. This is Dark S'mores Truffle. And this is shaped in the Millennium Falcon. So this one's going to be...
I don't know if you ever had one of these, but I had a Millennium Falcon pencil sharpener back in the day. Yeah,
no, I never did.
I had it in my box with all my pencils, and I would like sharpen it. It's the exact same size as this. Yeah, like down to the T. It's ridiculous. It's about, how big would you say this is? It's Millennium Falcon. I mean, a
couple inches.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's thick too, like it's
like a hockey puck is what it kind of looks like.
So I'm just gonna It's just gonna.
I don't care, dude.
All right.
Get in there.
It's just I can't. Okay. You know what?
And
Maybe because it's all just marshmallow and stuff in there. So, all right. I'll tell you what. I'll bite from the front. You can fight. You can bite from the back.
All right, deal.
We'll double team this.
We'll Eiffel Tower this treat. Oh wow,
That's pretty good.
mm-hmm.
It's got, like I said, it has all the marshmallow on the inside.
Yes, yeah.
It has graham cracker on the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Ton of chocolate.
A lot of chocolate.
Are those chocolate chips?
They might be. They might be. You're talking about like this up here?
Yeah.
Oh no, I think that's just part of the decoration. Part of the mold. I like that better than these Batman.
Oh, same.
ones.
Still very rich, and you'd probably have to split one of these things because that's yeah.
But it tastes like a classy s'more.
It does.
You know?
Yeah.
A high-end s'more. Which is really what this podcast is. We are just a high-end s'more.
Yeah.
I do have a question though. Eiffel Tower it? What? I've never heard that expression.
So, when you have a gal in the middle of two dudes,
Yeah.
she's kind of like skewered.
Oh, I get it. Okay, I see what you're saying.
It makes up a triangle here.
The triangle. Yep.
Yep.
I've also heard it pronounced as the wobbly H
No.
or the spit roast.
Okay.
Yeah.
All sorts of different terms.
And they're all correct.
Although I've been told that you just don't make eye contact.
I guess that's true. Nice
You gonna,
one.
like high five the dude.
I was gonna say do a little high five or something. All right. So out of I don't know, you want to do these individually or you want to do them separately?
Yeah, let's do it individually.
I said individually, then separately.
Yeah.
Together
I
and
know-
then separately.
I know what you
Okay. It's been a long 3 days.
It really has. Yesterday
still
it was pretty
cool.
damn funny. I smuggled in a couple of energy drinks. Troy was pounding those things left and right.
Yeah, I took them both down.
Yeah.
Much like the Eiffel Tower. So out of 5 Batman symbols for those first ones, because it's not my kind of like treat. Like I would never buy that for myself.
Right.
I gotta like a 2. Like the chocolate is good.
Right.
The chocolate
Yeah.
is really good. It's just not my kind of thing. I don't like chocolate with all the crap in the middle.
Whenever you get one of those variety packs, yeah, that's not the one that you go for, right?
No, like the one you get on Valentine's Day that's in the shape like a heart shaped box.
Yeah.
No, I just chuck all those.
Like, no, pass on this.
I don't eat that shit. Yeah, so I'm giving it a 2. Like I said, the chocolate's good, but it's for me. That's all it's got going for it.
I think I might have liked it just a little bit better. I'm at
Okay.
like a 2.5.
Okay.
So like right in the middle. Kind of take it or leave it.
The s'more, I'm giving a solid 4.
Okay.
I think the s'more is really good.
Yes. Yeah.
It's it's big, it's thick. Going back to the Eiffel Tower thing, it's got the graham cracker crumbles on the bottom.
See,
It's I'm giving it a 4.
so it's got the graham cracker, and then it's got like a layer of fudge, and then it's not marshmallow. You'd think it'd be like marshmallow fluff in the middle of it.
Yeah,
It's kind of like a whipped. It's not like a whipped cream, but like a frosting almost.
it does kind of have a frosting consistency. Yeah,
And then chocolate again on top. I feel like the graham cracker to chocolate to fluff or frosting ratio is a little off. I really did enjoy it. I just wish it would have been like that marshmallow fluff in the middle.
Okay.
So for that, I'm at a 3. Like, it's still really good, solid piece. But yeah,
Okay. Fair enough. We don't always have to agree on everything.
no, not at all.
See, John? We don't always agree on everything. All right. Let's get to Happy Birth, Death Day. If you're not familiar, this is a segment where we talk about the people of note, celebrities that were born today and also died today.
'Cause nobody else matters. Just the celebrities. Yeah.
Just those that that's all we care about.
The Lord's anointed.
Yes. Those special among us. Look, I could go through the entire list. I mean,
Right. And I would know probably 4 or 5.
if that.
if
If that.
Hey, wow. Oh, I was feeling confident.
I feel good about today, though. I think you're gonna know most of these.
Okay.
For example, born on this day in 1928, Adam West.
I am familiar with that individual.
Yes.
Batman.
Yes. Best known for portraying the 1966 Batman,
Also, the mayor.
the mayor of Quahog, Family Guy. Yep.
Yes.
I have such a love-hate relationship with that Batman TV series. I appreciate it because it got a lot more people to like Batman and
Yeah.
get more eyes on the character.
It opened into more into the mainstream.
Yes. Yep.
Media.
But at the same time, it's just so campy, and
it-
so now the show's become so iconic that now when people see like movies like The Dark Knight and stuff, they think, well, that's not Batman.
Yeah.
Like, no, yeah, it is.
It is.
Adam West was not Batman.
No. And he knew it because he was just doing like kind of a parody, and it was like a spoof on it.
It was. I mean, the comics at the time were a bit more kid-friendly.
Right.
But that's because they just incorporated the comics code, and so they had to be kid-friendly. And so they were being very very close to the comic books, but at the same time, that's never been Batman's character.
No.
The happy, campy. No. And then Adam West actually died, I think, back in, I think it was 2017, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway.
Burt Ward, still kicking.
He's still here, yeah.
Haven't heard much from him, have you?
He does a lot of charity work.
Okay.
He does a lot of charity work for animals, mostly.
Okay.
Like, he created his own brand of dog food for specifically large breed dogs because they tend to have their bodies fall apart a lot quicker.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he does a lot with that. Pretty much all the villains on that show are dead. Robin's still alive. Batgirl's still alive. I think
Catwoman? No.
there was 3 Catwomen.
Uh-huh.
I think 1 or 2 of them are still alive. Yes, but like everybody else,
I thought they had 9 lives.
Well, also born on this day in 1934, Brian Epstein. I doubt you know who this is.
The Epstein name sounds really super familiar.
He was the manager of a little band called the Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
He discovered them first in I'm going to be
Hamburg?
Hamburg, Germany.
Yeah.
I think, if I got that wrong, I'm never going to live it down.
Right.
But I think that's where he discovered them. And he actually signed a contract to be their manager from 62 to 77. Unfortunately, he only lived till 67.
Oh, wow.
because he was a closeted gay man.
Mm-hmm. Was it
And
AIDS that
no,
took his life? Okay.
no. AIDS didn't come around until the 80s.
Okay.
But he suffered from depression
Aha.
because he couldn't be who he was, and so he ended up overdosing.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's tragic.
Which, because of that was kind of the beginning of the end for the Beatles. So, thanks a lot, Brian. Born on this day, 1948, Jeremy Irons.
The actor, right?
The actor.
Yeah.
Yes. You'll know him. Yeah, he's been in so much. I mean, he's the current Alfred for Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne. He was the voice of Scar in The Lion King. He's done a ton of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. He's like a less intense Daniel Day-Lewis.
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah. Also born on this day in 1974, Jimmy Fallon.
The TV late night show talk host.
Yep, started on Saturday Night Live. Then from there he got his own late night show. He took over for Conan.
I always liked his musical numbers that he did with celebrities. You know,
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake did some really iconic ones with him.
Yeah, they did the history of rap, which been really good. And then he is now the current host of the Tonight Show, which
Is he your favorite or top three?
No. Well, top three, maybe. I actually really liked Jay Leno.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him a lot. I thought he was really. The show itself was really entertaining because he didn't stray much from what Johnny Carson was doing.
Right.
He added a couple bits and stuff, but it didn't change that much.
For the most part, he'd have like that monologue, then it'd introduce people. Kind of had that formula down.
Yeah, it was a formula.
Yeah.
Whereas Jimmy Fallon now, because of the age we live in, does a lot more like viral videos.
Right.
Like they're trying to do stuff that's going to go viral. Which is why he has like TikTok dancers on and stuff like that. Yeah.
And he tries to learn himself as well and just kind of stay hip. And
now there are a few games he plays where they're fun. And he's a decent interviewer, but for the most part, I don't really watch his show that much.
I could probably watch the majority of his show if it was just like in a TikTok format where it's just like a couple of minutes. You know, you get like you'll occasionally see like on social media, you'll see like a random clip of his. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, I'm good. Like
that's all you need.
Yeah. Like a highlight reel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So now those that died today, died in 1995. Orville Redenbacher.
Popcorn.
The popcorn magnate.
Yeah.
But you know how he died? He drowned in his bathtub at the age of 88.
Yep. Really?
Yep.
Just like fell asleep and...
I think so.
That is crazy. I thought for sure you were going to say like choked on some popcorn or something.
Wouldn't that have been ironic? Hang on. I just want to make sure here.
We want to be factual here on this show.
Yes.
If nothing else, we are factual.
Gotta get the facts straight. Okay. So on September 19th, 1995, Redenbacher died in the jacuzzi of his condominium in Coronado, California. He had suffered a heart attack and drowned.
He was not surrounded by his loved ones. He was surrounded by other ladies.
He was cremated and his ashes scattered at sea.
Really?
Yep.
That's horrible. Very morbid. I was just like, this is like this white cheddar powder stuff, tastes a little funny.
Are you saying that they put his ashes into popcorn?
Yes.
Okay.
So a part of us, part of him lives on.
In all of us.
Yeah.
Also died on this day in 2017, Jake LaMotta. You're a sports guy. You should probably know that name. And you're a movie guy.
Yeah. It sounds really super familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Jake LaMotta.
Made a very famous movie about this guy starring Robert De Niro.
A sports movie starring Robert De Niro?
Mm-hmm. was a boxing movie. He was a
Oh, the
boxer.
grudge match one?
No.
Oh. No, I can't think of it.
Raging Bull.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen that one. I mean, I'm familiar with it. No. I've even watched like Chariots of Fire and like Rudy and all these other ones, but no.
So as a middleweight, in his first 15 bouts, LaMotta went 14-0-1 with 3 KOs before losing a highly controversial split decision to Jimmy Reeves in Reeves' hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. Chaos erupted after the decision was announced. Fights broke out around the ring, and the crowd continued to boo for 20 minutes.
Dang.
Yeah.
Do you think the ref was like a local?
Mm-hmm.
That's why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Yeah, Hollywood executives approached LaMotta with an idea of a movie about his life based on the 1970 memoir Raging Bull, My Story. The film Raging Bull, released in 1980, was initially only a minor box office success, but eventually received overwhelming critical acclaim for both director Martin Scorsese and actor Robert De Niro, who gained about 60 pounds during the shooting of the film to play the older LaMotta in later scenes.
Dang.
Yeah. So there you go.
Watch that one.
Yeah, it's one of those films that if you're like a student in film class, you know, you watch it and try to really look deep into it,
Right?
Because it's shot in black and white, and so you try to find like.
People say the same thing about, this is maybe an unpopular opinion, but people say the same thing about like Rocky, and like it's just all right.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's no, it's not the be all and end all. I agree.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say Rocky is overrated because it's a good movie, but it's not the second coming of Jesus.
No.
Like some people treat it as. All right, that's all we got for that. So let's head to This Week in Geek.
This weekend.
Geek.
Now, again, for those that might be new, there might be some because we passed out hundreds of cards. AJ passed out hundreds of cards yesterday.
Yeah.
This is a segment where we just take a look at some of the big geek news during the last week.
This is from Fox 11, Los Angeles. A company will pay somebody $1,300 to watch 13 horror films. Troy and I have already since entered. It's kind of cool when you go to fill out the form. You can find the link like anywhere. You just type it in, and every article has a copy of it.
Yeah.
But what they want to do, well, what you first have to do when you submit your thing is if you have any type of social media presence, go ahead and post that up there because they want some people that are going to get the word out, and they will send you a heart monitor, like basically a Fitbit, as you watch these films, so that they can monitor your, like, you'll basically say like, okay, I'm starting this film, and then they just monitor your heart rate for the entirety to see. They're trying to find the 13 scariest movies ever created. They do have that list, and I wanted to kind of like run through it to quickly see if, like, now that we're into September, which is more of the burr months,
right?
I wanted to go
November, December, yeah,
the cold months. That's how I know when it's cold.
Oh, the burr months. Oh,
yeah. So I kind of want to run through these 13 films and see how many of them we've seen.
Really quick though.
Yes.
As we were filling out that questionnaire, they asked you for your, I think, favorite scary movie. What'd you put down?
I did put Get Out.
Did you?
Yeah.
I put Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, you have cosplayed as Mike Myers or I guess it's like more for Halloween, right?
Yes. Yeah. I went to a bunch of like college parties and stuff as Mike Myers. Yeah.
Yeah, once had sex with this chick wearing the mask. No.
I was married at the time.
Oh. Well.
No, I was. Wait, I'm sorry. I wasn't married. That was even like before the religious walkabout. I was in high school. I was a senior in high school.
Yeah.
So no, but I still wasn't. So sorry. Side tangent. Go ahead.
Number 1, Saw. Have
Okay.
you seen many of the Saw films?
I have.
I've seen about 1, 2, 3, and that's kind of where I stopped. I did not watch the newest installment.
I've seen several of the newer ones. I've also seen the first one. I agree having that one on the list because it was very innovative.
It was.
It was like the Blair Witch, where they took the horror genre and gave it something new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's since been ruined by all the sequels, like Paranormal Activity.
Right.
But I understand why it's on the list. Yeah.
2, Amityville Horror.
Sure.
This movie has been remade quite a few times.
Several times. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A Quiet Place, number 3.
I don't think of Quiet Place.
I don't think my heart rate would be up that high. No.
I don't think of it as a horror. I think of it more as like an action thriller. Like
Same, yeah.
I don't watch that. Yeah,
suspenseful. Yeah.
I don't think of it as horror, but okay.
2, A Quiet Place 2, or excuse me, 4, A Quiet Place 2.
Same thing. Same comments.
5, I would imagine they're talking about, because the other one I don't think is out on DVD just yet. But Candyman. Have you seen the original one?
I have. It's fine. You and I aren't exactly the demographic for Candyman.
Right.
I found it fairly. It's kind of generic. Like it was that weird place in horror where they were starting to go away from the slasher films.
Right.
But it was before the modern horror, and so it was that weird like in between, and yeah. It's like that same time where Snoop Dogg did some sort of horror film. You remember that? It was like, I think it was called The Bone Collector or something. Like these really.
Oh no, the Bone Collector. That one was with Denzel Washington.
What did Snoop Dogg do? It was Bone.
Denzel Washington was in that wheelchair. It was like a remake of Rear Window, where he's a police detective that's paralyzed and trying to solve stuff.
Bones. It was just called Bones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was just part of that weird. They were trying to make franchise horror films, but they usually just got like one movie out of them, and it was.
I still want to see the new Candyman. It looks interesting.
Yeah, I've been meaning to go see that one too. Maybe I'll go see that one today.
6, Insidious.
Yeah.
I could see that one being on the list. Especially, I know there's that one part where that red-faced demon-looking creature pops up behind the old woman, right?
Yes.
That shit scared the fuck out of me in theaters. That was horrifying. And I
Looks like Darth Maul's cousin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Darth Maul's cousin. Crackhead cousin.
Yeah. But then it got a little bit campy and cheesy towards the end where they're doing the whole tiptoe through the tree, and it's like crawling on the walls.
Yeah,
I'm like, you had so much potential. You could have made it like terrifying, and yeah. But I did also appreciate the weird, bizarre music intro. Where it's like all weird and like it'd been a while since I'd seen a movie where they'd actually tried to make some sort of a sound similar to like a Jaws.
Right.
You know, that's supposed to like invoke fear whenever you hear that noise. And for a while I actually couldn't listen to that Tiptoe Through the Tulips. Not that it was coming on the radio all the time, but like
right.
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly a top 40 hit.
No.
Tiptoe through the tulips.
Number 7.
Yeah.
Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. It's
for a long time people thought that movie was real, that it actually happened.
Yes. Yeah. That it was because nobody had done found footage.
Yeah, it was pretty much the original found footage film.
Now there are millions of found footage movies.
They've lost their luster.
They really have.
Yeah.
8, Sinister. There's quite a few Blumhouse films on the list.
Well, they're like the big guys in the horror genre right now.
Right, where the Saw franchise and Paranormal Activity teamed up to make the new Blumhouse. 9, Get Out. Oh, damn, that one's a great film.
Really good film.
That one, you can watch again and again and, like, find something new.
Yeah. It is like... the levels of that movie are just crazy when you start to break them down.
Right.
Because it's not just a horror film. It's
psychological.
It's psychological. It's suspense. It's a thriller. It's a mystery.
They've
it's
got some good jump scares in there.
Yeah. The symbolism is crazy in that film.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't until like afterwards when I like started looking into it, reading all these other things. I'm like, I need to rewatch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 The Purge.
Okay.
See, I actually liked the second one a little bit better.
See, I disagree.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like the Purge that it takes place. It's concentrated in just the one house. I like that premise.
That everybody else is doing like crazy shit. See, and I wanted to see more. I wanted to explore that world. Like it reminded me of like basically a Thor horror movie where it was just take place on Earth, one little like spot, and I'm like, no, I want to see Ragnarok. Right. I want to see like.
But for me, I liked it because it felt really claustrophobic. And I think that works for a horror film.
Right.
Just saying that one...
Like Panic Room.
Right.
Or some of these other ones, yeah.
Right. Or that one with Liv Tyler. Next door... Not They Live. I don't remember.
Oh,
Serial Killers and Masks.
One that kind of got me a little claustrophobic was like The Descent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
With like those chicks that are going and exploring cave splunking. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah. Okay, 11, Halloween, the 2018 one.
Oh, that okay. Okay. That was a perfectly good film.
Yeah.
I like that one.
12, Paranormal Activity. I like how they're covering like all the bases and like kind of picking these really big ones to see if they live up to the hype.
Yeah.
And number 13, Annabelle. Me, personally, I think the scariest one on that list might be actually Annabelle.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, when she goes down to the basement and that door won't close.
Yeah.
That was pretty terrifying. And then she's running up the stairs and then like you get the flash of lightning and the creature like this.
I just think that whole Annabelle series, it got really old for me really quick.
Yeah, they started relying pretty heavily on the jump scares.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say, though, the one... I can't remember they all run together now. But that took place at Ed and Lorraine's house. See, another house horror. Yeah.
Oh, that was an Annabelle one.
It
Annabelle
wasn't,
Comes
but it
Home,
was...
right?
Or was it?
Where the babysitter?
No, yeah, it was. Yeah. You're right. But I liked it because I liked that the ghosts had those coins on their eyes.
Right.
And when you shine the light on them, they would instantly disappear, but the coins would drop.
Yeah.
That was good.
Visually, that was pretty damn impressive.
That was cool. And,
I like that.
And you could hear the coins drop, too. Like, you couldn't see them, but you heard the coins drop. You're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
The other one that really, like, I enjoyed that I'm surprised didn't make the cut is, oh, no, actually, did it? Oh. Is Sinister, which one is the one where the writer goes to the home and...
Sinister.
It is Sinister, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. It made the cut. Sinister might be up there for me as well.
Sinister is really good.
Right? Especially that one scene where he's like watching that found footage and then he sees the dude's kind of face kind of move a little bit and then like also walking past. Ooh, yeah. Yeah,
Sinister will suck you in within the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, and I loved how they didn't like rely on the gore factor. Like when you see that one lawnmower scene. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it cuts to just like his glasses. Yeah. So that's how you kind of see it through it. So you don't see it 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, the first like 5 minutes of Sinister are disturbing.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what you're watching. You're watching this home movie and there are all these people. There's like this family with nooses around their neck. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
People are getting killed left and right.
Yeah.
And he starts diving into this whole universe.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that like always like makes me laugh is because people think, oh yeah, if I just move, then those whatever demonic entity things aren't gonna like follow them. And, like, have you not seen any horror films?
Yeah.
changing addresses, like they're that's not gonna deter them.
All right. So, have you watched Ted Lasso at all?
I have not. No,
It is so good.
really.
I highly recommend Ted Lasso.
It is on which streaming service? Or?
Apple TV.
Apple TV. Okay.
It is one of the most wholesome, just good TV shows you're gonna watch, but not like Full House wholesome.
Oh, okay.
Like it's about this guy, a Midwestern football coach played by Jason Sudeikis, who goes over to England and becomes a soccer coach. And so you have this Midwestern kind of country guy who's trying to navigate this world of soccer. And it's so good. Like the character's really interesting, and it's good. Most episodes will make me cry.
Seriously?
At least once. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
How long are each episode?
Half hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the only way to watch it is if you have Apple TV?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah. But they just have the first 2 seasons out right now. But sources say producers, Warner Brothers TV and Apple TV Plus, are negotiating over the show's licensing fees with the studio's linear rights to the Emmy-nominated comedy at the center of the battle. So multiple sources tell The Hollywood Reporter that the stars from Ted Lasso himself, Jason Sudeikis, down to the latest player on Richmond's roster of Apple TV's Emmy-nominated comedy, recently engaged in a round of contract renegotiations with Ted Lasso producers Warner Brothers Television that gave them all sizable pay increases. So there is going to be a season 3.
I'm glad to see they're getting paid.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's rightfully deserved.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Jason Sudeikis created the show. Somebody else. This Bill Lawrence created the show. But yeah, everybody's getting like pay raises and stuff because the show was taking off. Like it was kind of not a lot of people watched it, but like Schitt's Creek, all of a sudden it's just started to snowball and everybody's seeing this TV show. And it's so good. The GF got me onto it. That's how I first saw it. Yeah.
I'll have to see if I can't find it under a tree somewhere.
Right.
Like an apple.
I'm sure you could.
Speaking of television, Hulu has officially granted creators Steve Martin and John Huffman new comedy series Only Murders in the Building an early season 2 renewal. This came right after episode 5 debuted, and yeah, they greenlit it, so we're getting a season 2. Where we're at, without giving any spoilers or anything away, do you feel like this one needs a season 2 if they end it well, or we're just barely getting into the characters? Because I would hate to see it get too lengthy. I couldn't imagine it doing more than 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, because if they keep having murders in this building, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bit of a coincidence.
They will definitely have to go point us in a good direction at the end of season 1 for us to even. I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I really, really, really like it, but I feel like it can be summed up. They can solve it fairly quickly.
Yes, I agree.
By almost the season's end, which seems kind of weird. I don't know how many episodes. Are there just 10 episodes? Is that?
From what I've seen on IMDb, yeah, it's supposed to be 10. But I don't know. That could change.
Yeah.
Because it said that Steve Martin appears in 10 episodes. That's why I'm assuming the series is 10. But
right.
Yeah.
Watch, there's 11, and he doesn't appear.
Right.
The last one. But the cast, and everybody on, it's a great cast. It's really...
It really is. Yeah, and we sucked this show's dick last episode, so...
Yeah.
You can go back and listen to that. Man, there's some good TV shows that are popping up in these streaming services recently.
Agreed.
Yeah.
They've definitely raised the bar.
So I think Andrew Garfield is trolling everybody
I do too.
because they keep interviewing him about this new Spider-Man film. Because there's several of his villains when he was Spider-Man appearing in this film. So they're like, "Are you going to appear?" And he keeps saying, "No, I'm not going to appear. I'm not going to appear." And in this latest interview, he says Andrew Garfield warns fans in new interview that Spider-Man No Way Home may be disappointing if expectations aren't tempered properly. Let's see if I can find the quote here. Okay, this is what he says. He says, "It's an exciting idea that people are kind of obsessing over, and I would be too if I was, just out there not knowing what was going on. But I do know what's going on, and I'm afraid it's going to be very disappointing for people. What can I do? Or what can I do? I have to let people be disappointed. That's a big part of my recovery in my life That's a big part of my recovery in my life is." That was a weird sentence. "I have to allow people to have their own feelings. I can't mitigate or control anyone else's experience. That's a practice of mine. So if they want to create an expectation for themselves, that's up to them." So basically he's saying, look, you guys are building up this movie in your head. No matter what happens on the screen, you're going to be disappointed.
Right.
But they can't, at this point, they can't not have those two,
No.
Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, appear in this film.
Right. Agreed.
I mean, you just can't. You have all the villains. You have freaking Doc Ock
saying, like, "Hello, Peter,"
Yeah.
and that's the only one that he knows.
Yeah, he doesn't know Tom Holland is Peter.
No.
So who would he be talking to?
Right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't even look like it's the same scene when he says, "Hello, Peter," and then it cuts to Spider-Man landing on that car.
It looks like a different scene.
It's a completely different scene.
So I'm like 80% sure.
I mean, it still gets us talking.
That he's
and
trolling
I guess,
people.
Oh, yeah. Andrew Garfield can do his thing, but, like, it's getting a little annoying. I'm like, dude, I'm going to watch the movie. You don't have to, like, try to convince me or, like, troll us.
Yeah.
Speaking of Spider-Man, well, one of his villains, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, post-credit scenes reportedly leaked online. So, Tom Holland said he was there for the premiere for a couple people to see this film, and he sat down and he stood up in front of them and was like, "Okay, I need a verbal, agreement here. You will not leak any of this information. You can give your reactions online, and you can kind of say whatever you thought of it. But as far as any spoilers, don't fucking say it. Can I get a yes?" kind of a deal? And everyone's like, "Yeah," kind of a deal. Which I haven't seen that in any other celebrities do that before. Have you? Where they'll get up and actually tell people don't say anything.
They did for Avengers Endgame.
Oh, you're right. They did, but they had that little clip, right? Where they're just like, "Hey, let's be friendly to everybody else until they've had a chance to see
Endgame
it."
and Infinity War, they both did that. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But no, he legit in person stood in front of all of these people that were guests to see this film. So I'll have to show you the clip.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That chocolate, dude.
Yeah. Sticking with us.
But some Twitter fans have leaked some of the... It wasn't the actual... They didn't get a confirmation because we're not actually seeing film footage of it.
They probably took their phones.
But they just took their phone and recorded it. So you can kind of hear it. And then they're saying "Do not miss the credits. Oh my god. Stay for the credits. Exclamation point. Exclamation point."
It's Spider-Man. It's gotta be Spider-Man.
Right?
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
It's gotta be. There's no way that... Yeah, it's Tom Holland.
Tying these two universes together.
I almost guarantee that's what they're talking about.
That'd be pretty damn sweet. That would be awesome.
Yeah, let's finally get these characters on screen together.
Exactly.
I want to see Tom Holland and Tom
Hardy.
Oh, that's weird. Tom Holland, Tom Hardy. Like,
it's a Chris thing all over again.
It is.
Yeah.
Now with all the Chris's, it's all the Toms.
Do you feel like before Venom and Spider-Man team up can happen, they should do another standalone film and almost turn it into like a Justice League or a, Marvel Universe?
No, I think
just give them the next film.
They've done that formula, so I think it's time to move on.
Okay.
Since they're moving kind of away from those characters now.
Well, what about what's his bucket's film, the vampire one?
Jared Leto.
Yes.
Morbius,
and then Morbius, Spider-Man, and Venom on the screen.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm just speculating here.
Yeah.
But it's gotta be Spider-Man.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
What else was gonna get them that excited?
Yeah.
It's gotta be Spider-Man. Going to another character from the MCU that's doing other things. Anthony Mackie is joining the live-action Twisted Metal series in the lead role. Did you ever play Twisted Metal on PlayStation?
I did. Yeah, I only had a PS3, and I know there's a version for it, but I didn't play much of it on the PS3, but the original PlayStation, I played the hell out of it with my friends.
It's pretty good. It's pretty fun.
What's the Cyclone? Was that the one that spun around in circles and lifted you up off the ground?
I can't remember. I just remember the guy in the clown mask and the ice cream truck.
Yeah, I played as Cyclone, and then I also played as Axel or something. It was a dude. I don't know if it was one or two, but it was a guy, and he was suspended in the middle. It was really reminiscent like Mad Max kind of stuff, but he has these two ginormous wheels on either side of him, and he's suspended in the middle, and he's just shooting all these rockets and shit at people. It was great.
So Anthony Mackie's going to be playing a character called John Doe. In the video games, John Doe is an amnesiac, can't remember anything about himself, but is covered in tattoos that may hold the clue to his past. Oh yeah, there he is. Okay. Mackie is best known for playing Falcon in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is a sign that PlayStation Productions, a division set up to take successful PlayStation games and adapt them for film and television, is ramping up its efforts to translate notable games to the screen.
Oh, it wasn't Cyclone, it was Twister. This individual here.
Okay.
I do not want this.
No?
No, Anthony Mackie, perfectly fine actor, nothing against him. I hated that, what is the Need for Speed movies, and I feel like it's going to be something like that.
You hated that movie?
Oh, absolutely.
I kind of liked it.
With what's his bucket from Breaking Bad?
Yeah. I don't know why. There was just something about that movie I really liked.
Really? It was awful. Especially when they're like, all right, let's pull this maneuver, from the game.
Oh yeah. Look, don't get me wrong, the movie's trash.
Yeah.
The movie's absolute garbage. But there was something about it. I think I saw it twice.
In theaters?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
Wow.
Sometimes there's just a movie that just hits you differently. Yeah. I don't know what it is. And that was one of those
saw it
movies.
on Redbox with a free code, and I felt gypped.
And I paid $20.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. I think I got one more story. Yeah. Hawkeye.
No.
Hawkeye.
Oh. Yes. Well, because I switched it out for the other one.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't know. I kind of sprung that on me. I didn't know we were doing that. That's fine.
Improv in here. Rolling with the punches.
All right then. let's move on. This is usually where we do our revs and recs.
Yes.
But since we just spent 3 days getting geek and nerd pop culture shoved up our ass, we might as well talk about that.
Yes. Man, we walked so many miles.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, yeah. FanX happened these last 3 days, 16th, 17th, and 18th. This is Utah's, Salt Lake's big pop culture convention.
Yes.
Like San Diego Comic-Con or Dragon Con or those things. This is ours. It's FanX.
They had to change the name after the lawsuit.
Yeah, fucking San Diego. So we've been pretty much every single year.
Yeah.
I think I missed 1 year for whatever reason, but
I don't know if I went one of the days. Yeah, I haven't missed a year.
and we've been lucky enough to do press the last few years. Like
Right.
the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years.
Thank you to
like that.
FanX and to Brandon.
And to Brandon, yeah. So, thought what we'd do is over the next couple of episodes, this one and the next, we'd break down pretty much everything we did for those 3 days.
Right. We got a lot of content and a lot of really good stuff.
Yeah. Which you may want to jump onto our Patreon and sign up if you haven't.
Yes, for
Because-
as little as $1 a month.
Yes, because right after we're done here, I am just taking all of our videos, all of our pictures, and dumping everything into Patreon.
They get it first.
Yep, they get it first. And then subsequently throughout the upcoming weeks, I'll start releasing more like online, but
Yeah.
Patreon's going to get everything first. So, let's start with day 1, shall we?
Yeah.
The con opened a little later. The vendor floor didn't open until 2, which is when we got there.
Yeah.
And usually what happens when we get there is we kind of get a good lay of the land,
Right.
essentially.
Kind of walk around,
Mhm.
see where everything, like, because occasionally they'll change things up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Where the celebrities are located at, where everything else is.
So we took like an hour and we kind of walked the vendor floor and, you know, just kind of see what was up.
And then while we were walking over to where the celebrities were at, we noticed that Ming Chen, he didn't have a line, like, at the moment. Or were you going to get something first?
We had something else first.
Yes.
We went to the voice actor panel.
Oh,
first.
yeah, you're absolutely right. Yep.
Now, this wasn't Twisted Tunes. That happened yesterday. Happened Saturday. This was a spotlight on voice actors, which basically was just a Q&A.
Yeah.
And the guys that were there was Jim Cummings, Rob Paulson, Maurice LaMarche, Jess Harnell, and Caitlin Robrook.
Caitlin, she is the new voice of Minnie Mouse.
Minnie Mouse, yep.
And she actually did quite well with the other voice impressions that she did.
Yeah, she did a lot of Simpsons
Some
impressions and
what's the show? Cartman.
South Park.
South Park. Yeah.
So yeah, we went and saw that panel. It was good. I mean, I'll watch those guys do anything. They're
And I thought there were some
heroes
really
of
good
mine.
questions asked, and it was kind of funny because right off the bat, when the person was introducing themselves, all of a sudden Jim Cummings is like, "Well, what's your favorite dessert?"
yeah. He was asking everybody what their favorite dessert was. So we were like, "Ooh, ding, light bulb."
Yeah, that kind of became a staple.
Yeah, that came into play later. So yeah, we got some pictures of that.
Which Troy already started to feel the power. Like right off the bat, he's walking right up in front of everybody,
right next to the stage.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it was great.
That's the power of the press pass, baby.
You're like, I'm only a couple of feet away from these guys.
Press pass power.
Yes,
Do get a little drunk on it, but that's okay.
and people giving you shit, but
Yeah, we got that. We ran into a Karen
yes,
yesterday, but we'll get to that. Yeah, so we did that after that panel. Then we headed over to the celebrities.
yes,
And here's the thing. we talk about this in years past, but we'll talk about it again. There's a system you have to go through for like 99% of these celebrities.
Yeah.
You walk up to their booth, and this is for us in the press. You walk up to the booth, and either there's a volunteer there for the con or talent management.
Right. And if the volunteer's there and they're not sure, then they'll usually go ask one of the agents, and they get a lot more people involved in what really needs to happen.
Yeah, it becomes a whole thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes we'll get lucky, like we did with Ming Chen. Now, Ming Chen, if you don't know, he is a friend of Kevin Smith.
He did the comic book man for years.
He did comic book man. He was Kevin Smith's website guy for a long time, like his IT guy and stuff. Yeah, he did comic book man. Like he's, yeah. If you're familiar with Kevin Smith and that whole universe, you know who Ming Chen is.
Yes.
He's also a podcaster. So we were walking up to him, and he completely took us by surprise. Right. He was completely off guard because he saw us. He saw the microphones we had.
Saw the press badges.
And he's like, oh, yeah, come on, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm like, okay. Like, we didn't even have to ask him. He, like, called us over. Like, it was awesome.
Right.
So we had a great interview with him. Because I think, and we talked about this later that day, but there's this weird fraternity of podcasters.
There is.
It's kind of a brotherhood.
Uh-huh.
Like, it doesn't matter how famous you are or not. If you're both podcasters, you're like, you both got, you got the struggle, right?
Right. Well, unless you're like Rob Paulson.
Well,
he has
if you're a big time celebrity, then you don't have to worry about that. But
or some of these other guys that they'll create a podcast, which kind of irks me a little bit when like somebody like, oh, I feel like I'm just gonna do a podcast, and then they get like 100,000 like followers. Yeah. The next day, I'm like, son of a bitch.
Just because they're famous. But even still, it's this weird little brotherhood going on. So, yeah, we had a great conversation with Ming. He invited us to come over to his podcast studio.
Right, to record.
Problem is, it's in New Jersey.
Just like 10 minutes away, a hop and a skip away from the comic book store.
Yeah, from the comic book shop. Like, okay, well, thanks, Ming, but yeah.
If we're ever in the neighborhood.
Yeah, if we're ever in New Jersey, hey.
Yeah. No, that'd be legit.
We got a place to go.
Oh, yeah.
So we talked to him, and we ended up hanging around the celebrities for a little bit because a good way to get in and talk to them is like right at the beginning of the day or right at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep. Before they really get like a huge line of people or when the lines die down.
Yep. So that's how we were able to get Ming. And
although if it's an elderly person, catch them early.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. Then we had an opportunity to talk to Edward Furlong.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't know who he is, he was the kid in Terminator 2. He was also in American History X. He's
the brother of Edward Norton. Yeah.
Yeah.
In that movie.
Yeah, in the movie. Yeah.
He kind of reminds me a little bit of like a love child of Andy Serkis.
He's got a little Andy Serkis. The eyes.
Yeah.
He's got Andy Serkis eyes.
Yeah.
Which I think is a song.
Those aren't bedroom eyes. They're more like Golem eyes.
They're Golem eyes. But here's another thing with some celebrities. Some, you ask them a question, and they'll talk for several minutes.
Right.
Others, you ask them a question, and they'll say one or two words. This was Edward Furlong.
Yeah.
I would ask him a question, and he'd say...
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Totally. Yep, that was the case.
Like, shit, now I have to, like, move the conversation along. Okay. Yeah. Those are the kind of dates that you don't want.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed like a fairly nice guy. He was
down to
a cool
earth,
dude,
like,
yeah,
you know, let us interview him, so yeah.
At the same time, it's like, you're something there, Ed. Come on. So we talked to him, and like I said, all these interviews, some we filmed, some we didn't, for various reasons.
I thought it was really interesting. I won't say who it was. You'll just have to go find out. But in our interview, but I thought it was kind of interesting who he picked as his mentor.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
And
right.
yeah, and that's the other thing. pretty much every year we have this one question that we ask every celebrity.
Right.
We get like 3 questions while we're there. And the last question is always the same question. And this year it was, who was a teacher or a mentor that inspired you?
Right. And this one was this brought to you by anybody in particular?
No.
Okay.
This was brought to you by you.
Oh,
You're the
yeah,
one
yeah.
that suggested it.
Couldn't remember if one of our listeners or something.
Nope. That was all you. All right. So we talked to him. We were also able to talk to Emily Swallow. Now, if you don't know her, she was on The Mandalorian. She was the armorer. The armorist. She made the armor for The Mandalorian.
With this one, like we had a perfectly fine interview.
We had some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd press play. It didn't start recording. It said like there was insufficient. Press play again, and then it recorded the second half of it.
Yeah.
So I think we should talk a little bit about that first part.
Yes.
Though, right?
So yeah, when we post it, you'll see the second question I asked, but we missed the first question, and that was, how easy is it to see out of those helmets?
And I didn't realize that there was like goggles or glasses that they had in there that were kind of like strapped to their face.
That's not quite what she said.
Wasn't it?
No, she said it's wearing that is like wearing sunglasses.
Oh, like wearing.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
She said it's really difficult to see. You don't have a field of vision, really.
Mm-hmm.
And she said I was in a dark set, and it was like I was wearing, because that visor was like I was wearing sunglasses at night, essentially. Yeah. And so she had to trust that where she was walking was the right place to go, and it was really interesting. And it was cool to see that she was actually in the suit. She wasn't just a voice. She was actually in that outfit.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. So that's what we talked about with her. And then who else did we talk to? Oh, yes. We talked to Caitlin Robrock.
Yes.
Like I said, current voice of Minnie Mouse. Now, what we talked about with her was she is very new to the voiceover world.
Right.
Very new.
So
the fact that she became the voice of Minnie Mouse is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the dude that is the voice actor for Mickey Mouse that was there as well, it seemed like he kind of stumbled into it a little bit.
Yeah, he's been doing it for quite a while now, but
right.
Yeah. So anyway, we talked to her about pretty much how she landed that part, how she got into the voiceover,
which is really kind of cool if you are wanting to become a voice actor. You know, it's just all right, just get your name out there, kind of be persistent, do whatever it takes.
Yeah, because the other voice actor said several times, we remember her. Yeah. We remember her being in the audience. We remember her asking questions. Now all of a sudden she's up on stage. So I mean, it can absolutely happen. You just have to be, you just have to really want it, I guess. Really be persistent.
And then I happened to look over and see Troy's eyes, and there was a little twinkle, and yeah.
That was a tear.
Oh, yeah. It was a tear. I thought it was hope in your eyes. What the hell?
It was depression and sadness. Because I live in Utah. Not a whole lot of voice acting opportunities here, but whatever. I'm over it. So yeah, we also talked to a couple other people. We're going to save that for next week.
Yes.
Right. Because it was kind of a package deal.
It was.
You'll understand when we get there. So that's what we talked to. What else did we do that day? Let me check the photos. We took a lot of pictures.
We really did, yeah.
This year. Let's see. There was a voiceover panel. What else did we do? Took a lot of cosplay pictures.
Boy Meets World.
Was that day? Oh yeah. Yeah, so several stars of Boy Meets World was there. And so we were able to go in and watch that panel. that was pretty interesting. It was pretty much, there were several there, but pretty much the only people that spoke were Ryder Strong and Will Friedle.
Yeah. Which I thought that was kind of funny, like, Will Friedle. So 2 things. He first said that he would no longer ever do the Feeney.
The Feeney call.
The Feeney call. Because he'd already passed the torch to the new girls for the Girl Meets World.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the actor that said, like, nope, that's theirs now, I've passed it on. But he was kind of inspired to do the same for them.
Oh, yeah. What was that? What did he say? I can't remember. Anyway. Yeah, so, he talked about that. It was interesting that Ryder Strong, who played Sean in Boy Meets World, is no longer acting.
Right.
He retired from acting. Now he's doing a bunch of directing and stuff. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's good to see child stars that actually make it out, or that actually continue in the biz but don't get, like, addicted on shit.
Yeah. It was also funny to see that William Daniels, who played Mr. Feeney, just no longer gives a fuck.
No, he honestly doesn't. Like, they would ask him a question or something, he's just like,
He'd shrug his shoulders.
Yeah. That's why, like, we were kind of tentative to even go up and, like, try to interview him. It was like, man, this is going to be one of those ones where he just doesn't care.
Yeah. And also, the dude's in his 90s, and...
Oh, yeah.
You know, I doubt he knows what, like, a podcast is, so... I didn't want to get the agents involved. And, ugh.
Yeah.
When you've been doing it for several years like we have, you can kind of...
Read the room?
Read the room.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so there was that panel. I took pictures of a few other panels, like Christopher Eccleston.
Right.
I took a picture of a few of his panels. I didn't stay because I don't give a fuck about Doctor Who, but I thought it'd be cool to get some pictures.
Are we going to save this for next week's episode? Adam
Savage?
Yeah.
No, we can talk about it. I mean, that happened on day 1.
Was it?
Yeah. That was day 1.
Oh no, it was day 2, dude.
Was it day 2?
Yeah.
I could have sworn it was day 1. Oh, no, you're right. Yep, you're right.
So I didn't know if we wanted to save it. Well, we'll save his stuff, because also there's another interview that was really good. We'll save that interview, and then the 2 other people that we interviewed.
Okay.
Like those 2 we'll save those 2 panels, and then we'll save the interviews.
Okay. That works. Tom Arnold also did a panel. There was a True Lies panel that he did. I took a couple pictures of that. Again, I didn't stay. Again, power of the press pass.
In and out. Boom,
In
boom.
and out. It's how I live a lot of aspects of my life. In and out. I think that's pretty
That's
pretty much it, yeah. Other stuff, I mean, it was just a bunch of walking around. It was a bunch of taking pictures of cosplayers.
Which, they're so dang nice. If you're not familiar with this whole world, like, they love having their photo taken.
Oh, yeah.
They also, it's kind of cool. I'd never seen this before, but a lot of them were saying, like, oh, yeah, here's, like, where you can find me on social media, right?
I mean, they work sometimes for a year on that costume, so of course they want people to take pictures of it.
Yeah, yeah. And you're just like, hey, excuse me, can I get a picture of, and they'll post.
It seemed like there was a lot more really, really intricate and really detailed cosplays this year. They were few and far between.
Right.
But the ones that were there were really good. Like, there was a ton of Mandalorian cosplays there.
That were great.
That were really good.
Yeah.
Some better than others, but...
Doctor Doom. We saw a really good Doctor Doom.
Really good Doctor Doom. Yep. There was this funny thing with... Speaking of the Mandalorians, that AJ was doing, and like a bunch of them he came across, he would come up to him and go, "Excuse me," and point to someone and go, "Is this the way?" Some of them got it.
Yeah.
Some of them didn't.
That first kid, I was just like, "Oh, okay," because I'd said it to him, and he's just like, "Yeah, I believe it's over this way." I'm like, "All right," and I'm like, "Man, that was a wasted pun," and he said something else like, "Oh yeah, maybe next time." I don't know. But overall, no, it was a great day 1, and half day 2.
But what I didn't see, oddly enough, and I mentioned this to you, was Harley Quinn cosplays.
No, and only 1 or 2 Deadpools.
Yeah, that was really odd.
It was.
Yeah.
Where did
Yeah,
you
that
Where
was
did you
strange.
post that little clip that we did after? Have you already posted
No,
that?
I haven't posted it yet.
Okay. Because I thought it was kind of funny how we actually, like, you came up with like a ranking system with the cosplayers.
Mm-hmm.
The 1, 2,
Yeah,
3, and 4.
there's 4 levels of cosplay that I noticed this year.
Yeah.
And then just talk a little bit about day 2, and we'll talk more about day 2 and day 3 next week. But there's a couple artists we talked to.
Yes.
So the first guy you knew, right?
Yes.
Miles.
Yeah. Yep.
His name's Miles Milton, and you can find him online, all over social media. Like on Twitter, he's twitter.com/Miles Milton, Facebook, Art of Miles, and Instagram, Miles _Milton. He was a really cool dude.
Yeah. His artwork, it's a lot of it is a mashup. You know, he'll have
Yes.
like a Stitch and Hellboy,
Mhm.
or like a lot of like different mashups that really work well.
Yeah, he had an Ariel and what was it? Dang, now I can't remember. It might have been Aquaman or I can't remember.
But that was like way cool after, like at the very end, after we had interviewed him, he's like, "Hey, do you guys want one of these like ones?"
Yeah, he gave us a couple free prints. I got here. Let me grab it real quick. Grab these others too, since we're going to talk about it. So, stand. So I got this. I got cords everywhere. Okay, I got this Skeletor pick. Now, looking at, I mean, it's not a mashup. It's just straight up Skeletor.
Right.
The reason I got this is because Skeletor is becoming one of my favorite characters.
Really?
Yeah.
After the new series?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've always liked the look of Skeletor, but now it's like, you know, he's a cool character. But what I notice is his art reminds me a lot of mine.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think our art styles are very similar.
Yeah.
Like, I could easily draw this.
Right.
It
It'd take quite a few hours, but yeah, you could do it.
wouldn't take several hours.
Really?
No. Maybe an hour.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a sketch. I mean, it's not, you know.
I think it'd be kind of interesting to see, you know, you like
Like a side by side?
Yeah.
I can do that.
That'd be way cool.
Yeah, I'll do that. So, and not take anything away from Miles, of course.
No. And see, these ones were like in his like $5 bin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so they were obviously just quick sketches. So.
Right.
But another guy we talked to was a guy named Mike Lorenzo. And the reason we talked to him is because he had a couple pictures that caught my eye that I'll get to here in a second. But you can find him at MikeJLorenzo@gmail.com or MikeLorenzoArt.com. Now, the interesting thing with him is that most of his stuff is watercolor.
99% of it.
Mm-hmm.
Other than 2 pieces that he had on that table, everything else was just watercolor.
And a lot of it is portraits. Like, he does a lot of like Stormtrooper helmets,
Yeah.
or Star Wars
Those
helmets in
ones
general.
Looked way cool. If I had more space on my walls, I would have picked those up for sure.
Right. And what caught my eye at the table is he had watercolors of the Ninja Turtles from the first movie.
Right.
And so I was looking at them.
And watercolors lend themselves well to the skin of turtles.
They do. Yes. Yeah. Because it's not just, obviously, it's not just a solid green. There's like different splotches and dots and stuff.
Right.
So I was trying to think, okay, which print should I buy here? Obviously, I wanted to get Donatello.
Right.
But then I was looking at the other 3. I'm like, hey, look,
They all look good, yeah.
I gotta get the whole set, right?
Right.
So I ended up buying all 4, which I've already posted on Facebook, on my social media, if you want to go check that out.
Which was kind of cool. Who liked it on your Instagram?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mark Casso liked it. Now, if you don't know who that is, he was in the Leonardo suit. I think in number 1 and 3, I want to say. He
Okay.
wasn't in all 3, but he was in 2
of them.
Yeah. Yeah, and he liked my picture. That was pretty cool. But yeah, go check out Mike's work. It's really good. It's really good. And all of them are signed and stuff, so once he dies, these will be worth a lot.
Wow. All right, Skeletor, calm down. Jeez.
Just kidding, Mike. Just kidding. If he's listening, I don't know. He might. He has our card.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. So I mentioned that AJ was giving away a lot of cards.
Right.
Because here's the thing. Here's how AJ and I balance each other out really well. You are a lot more extroverted than I am.
Right.
Like, a lot of times you just kind of really don't give a fuck. Which is funny to me. Me...
Like, other times I do, but, like, certain times, yeah, no.
Yeah, certain times. Like, these last few days, man, you didn't give a shit. And it was funny. But yeah, so what we do, we have the system is AJ, especially with the celebrities, he'll get us up to the table.
Right.
And then once we're there, then I'm good.
Yeah.
Then I'm fine.
You kind of get in that moment, you're just like, all right, here we go. I got the questions in mind.
But it's hard for me to initiate it.
Right.
And you just started just randomly passing out cards to anybody we were passing.
Yeah.
Which I thought was awesome.
I might have thrown a couple, like when we were going into one of those panels, might have thrown a couple of cards
just
into the
randomly
air.
thrown them into the crowd. Oh, man, that was funny.
I think I hit somebody in the face. No, just
kidding.
Just kidding. This is going to be used as evidence.
Right,
like,
yeah.
When they have to have, like, surgery on their eyes.
So, yeah, that was really fun. How many cards do you think over the 3 days you gave away? Several hundred?
Couple hundred.
Couple hundred?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember one, there was a woman dressed up as Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
And you just dropped it in her basket as she passed.
She didn't even notice. Yeah. I don't think you saw this one, but there was another gentleman in a wheelchair that had like an open basket behind him.
Yeah.
They kind of like threw it in there. I'm like, if I'm going to hell.
I had a stack when I was walking home after day 3. Or walking home. Yeah, I was going to walk all the way home. And walk back to my car. And you know how you have those free newspaper stands for like the Deseret News and stuff?
Yeah.
I just had the stack and I just set it right there on top of the newspapers.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
I really do hope that we have like a couple of new listeners.
I hope so too. Hopefully all that work wasn't in vain, but
Well, okay, that, and I was also thinking these are our older cards.
They were the old ones, yeah.
Yeah.
So
we're getting newer ones. Like we've had 3 sets of different cards, right?
Right, yeah.
Or we're going to have.
So that pretty much wraps up day 1 and a little bit of day 2.
Right.
We'll have more to talk about day 2 and 3. That's when stuff really picked up.
Yeah.
We have a lot more interesting stories over the next couple of days. Good and bad.
The good and bad.
Good, bad, and
celebrities.
ugly.
Yeah.
Yep. So definitely stay tuned for that next week. Anything else you can think of as far as FanX goes for those days?
No, I feel like that kind of sums it up.
Covers it, yeah. And again, head to Patreon. You can sign up for $1. All this stuff is going to be available for any tier.
Right.
So if you even sign up for $1, you'll be able to see all of our interviews, all of our pictures, everything.
Yeah.
So make sure to head over do that if you want and if you can.
Yeah.
All right. So let's wrap things up here. I think that's everything for today, kids. So here's where you can find us. Like I said, head to patreon.com/WorldWarG if you want to see all these interviews, pictures, videos we have, extra episodes, extra content. It's all over there. If you just want to hear our episodes proper, you can go to worldwarg.podbean.com. On social media, we're at facebook.com/WorldWarG. We're also on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. Just search World War G podcast. You'll find us. You can find all of our merchandise at tpublic.com. You can also email us anytime.
Day or night.
at worldwargpod@gmail.com. So this has been World War G. That has been AJ.
That has been Troy.
You know, I would say stay geeky, but I don't know if I'm allowed. I gotta go ask somebody. Let me go find my agent and see if it's okay for me to say stay geeky. I don't know. So let me go find out, okay?
Yeah.
I'll call you and let you know, okay? All right.